So, Roblox Star Wars Heroes vs Villains. If you've played Roblox Star Wars games all the time, you've probably played it. Now, I used to play the game a lot, but I've come back recently and I've noticed something that was a big so I want to cover it today. And it is specifically relating to the credits only appearances. And what I'll say is gonna make them sound a bit scummy. So in the game there are some appearances or skins, I'll keep on referring to them as appearances, so for some characters that you just can't buy in crates like you usually do. Instead, you're meant to save up your credits and buy them yourself. The thing is, these appearances are quite expensive, coming in at 500,000 for credits for 7, with one appearance being 1 million credits and another 3 being 250,000 credits. All in all, it doesn't sound that bad, especially compared to a lot of the other things, which usually cap out at 600,000. And these are meant to be, you earn them. And they don't sound that bad until you realise one thing. You basically only get about 1,200 credits a match. And that is assuming that you do well in the match and get around 7 to 10 kills and win the match, which is a struggle for a lot of people. To simply get 1,000 credits, you'd need to play 84 matches at the optimisation I just stated, to which it is difficult to do that well every match when you have high skill players constantly playing the game. It basically leaves you with no choice but to go into the shop and buy credits. As of recording, you can get 42,000 credits for 500 Robux. It currently has a label saying 75% more, so I assume that means you're getting even more credits for your worth at the moment. Again, it doesn't sound awful, but to afford one 500,000 credit appearance, you'd have to buy those 42,000 credits 12 times, needing 5,500 Robux, or in other words, $68.75 USD. To buy all 7 500,000 credit appearances, you'd need 38,500 Robux, which equates to $481.25 USD. For one of the 3 250,000 credit skins, you'd need 3,000 Robux, which equates to $37.50 USD. And to buy all 3 of the 250,000 credit skins, you'd need 9,000 Robux, which equates to $112.50 USD. And to buy the 1 million credit appearance, you'd need 12,000 Robux, which equates to $150 USD. And to buy all of them, you would need 59,500 Robux, which equates to $743.75 USD. This isn't small amounts of money. This is loads. Just to buy a virtual currency you can only use on a single platform, to buy currency you can only use in one virtual game, to buy appearances for your character. The worst part is you need those appearances to complete objectives. While objectives aren't really an essential part of the game, they give fun challenges and you get a special appearance for completing all of them. Specifically, to get the 5 appearances that cost 500,000 credits and they are necessary to complete some of these objectives, you'd need 27,500 Robux, which equates to $343.75 USD. That will still set you back loads. Basically, you could have used that money to buy groceries. It is just utterly scummy and is completely designed to just get cash out of you. Now, to be fair, these were added much later on, and these prices have been in the game for a long while, but they just haven't been updated to accommodate these new appearances. So the utterly scummy thing, I do think, still stands. It is a really common trick that companies do, especially companies making mobile games. Slow your progression in the game, so you basically have no choice but to buy what they're selling. In HUV's case at least, it is just a new appearance for the character you are using, and doesn't really affect gameplay outside of different colours for your lightsaber, which isn't really anything exclusive to these credit-only appearances anyway. There are other appearances that you can buy without them. There are other appearances you can just get in crates that change the colour of your lightsaber. And the gameplay changing stuff is incredibly cheap in comparison anyway. You can pretty much get them by just playing the game. This is just something that I think really needs to be sorted out, and considering that while there is a player base that is still playing the game, they aren't the player base the game had back in its prime about 5 years ago. The numbers are way smaller. As I was writing this, I checked how many players were on. Only 5 players were playing the game, which is a far cry from the hundreds or thousands it used to bring in daily. I mean, it has 2 million visits, 22 million visits. It's definitely not going to be making the money it was making back then. So I'd say to just increase the worth of the 500, so I'd say increase the worth of the 500 Robux option permanently and substantially. 2,500,000 credits should be the absolute minimum, to which 500,000 credits is what I suggest making them. I think anything lower than that would still come under scummy, but I think anything below 250,000, that's too low, way too low, especially for what you need, especially for the prices for some of these appearances. That way, it is still quite a big spend, especially to get all of the appearances, but you just get a lot more for your worth. If so, I did some calculations on these in my stream on the second channel. You can go check out I think it was, what did I call the stream? Let me check. I called it More Roblox Heroes vs Villains. So if you want to check me out trying to do the calculations, I don't get them right there, but you can go check out that stream. It's around about the 40-minute mark. Around about that. If you can see how much shock I was seeing when reading this, when doing those calculations alone. I only did like the 500,000 stuff as well, and I didn't do it overall. So to see that it basically would cost you like $600. I'm personally in the UK, so we don't use dollars, but I'm using dollars for you guys because I think most of my audience is American. So that is a really scummy thing to do. And you can buy loads, and that's a lot of money to be spending in a game like this. Especially a game that is, for the most part, barely got a player base that is able to play consistently. And I'm going to check how many people are on the game at the moment. Still only 5. So yeah. So up the price to at least 250,000 credits for that. So increase the price for the 500 Robux to so you can buy 250,000 credits to 500 Robux at least. But I'd say up it so you get 500,000 credits for 500 Robux. I think that's a better option. And as again, it's just a lot more, it's just much, you get much more for your worth in that case. Well, you know, 550,000, I think that would probably be another pretty good thing. But yeah, I was shocked to see this, and I could not believe it when I saw it. Yeah, that does it for this video, so thank you all for watching, and goodbye. Hello everyone. If you've noticed this video keeping on being uploaded and deleted, uploaded, deleted, it's just because I keep on having to add stuff onto this video. But I think in this video I do come across as a bit harsh. It's just because it's, you know, it is a ridiculous price. But I want to make it very clear. I don't think the people at Shitcoal Creations realise just how undervalued the 42,000 credits are for 500 Robux, and how certain things cost, you know, that requires you to buy it 12 times just for one 500,000. You know, I don't really think they've realised that. So yeah. And I just want to make it very clear, I'm not trying to call them out or anything, I'm just trying to point it out for people that are maybe considering getting a bunch of them so they can get the skins, just so that you can kind of rethink whether it's going to be worth it for you. Because I do think, if you don't know, you're probably going to wind up wasting a ton of money. So yeah, this is also, now I know they have a suggestions thing on their Discord, but you know, this is just kind of like as a general suggestion, to just kind of maybe bump up the price, you know, bump up the credits you get. So yeah. And again, this isn't meant to be like an attack on Shitcoal Creations. You know, the developers, I know they are quite. I think they are very dedicated to the game, and you can tell that they have a lot of love for the game. You know, a lot has gone into making it. You know, there's over 60 characters in there. You know. Each melee user has a unique animation. Each of them have unique emotes. All of them have unique animations. All of them have unique emotes. Not to mention that when you change what skin you're using, sometimes the emotes change as well. So you know, they have to go. They have to go through a lot of. They have to go and find lots of different things to put the game together, and then of course there's all the coding and such, so they have done a really good job at making the game. I want to make it clear, but I do think that again the pricing's a bit rough. Now I did also mention earlier in the video it took like I can't remember the exact number, like it would take 84 matches if you just got 101,200 credits a match. It is possible to get 100,000 credits a day. But in my experience, you kind of have to play it all day. Which isn't really the most ideal, and people, you know, they don't necessarily, most people aren't going to have that time. So, and of course, you know, credits vary. Sometimes you'll have only a couple hundred, because for some reason, the credits you get are for playing the game, you know, are actually pretty terrible. I started noticing it, and it's it's awful. The credits you get are awful. You kind of have to rely on daily challenges, and some of them are really frustrating to complete. And I think maybe the daily challenges should maybe kind of be brought down a little bit. And that there was a capture the flag one, and I think it's like maybe it's have your team capture a flag rather than it be you capture a flag. I think, you know, little things like that just to make credits more easier and accessible. You know, make it so that stuff like where it's completely like have it be like your team kills the VIP, your team captures a flag, because unfortunately, you know, you kind of need very specific circumstances to be able to get certain things. So sometimes you need very specific characters to really be able to do certain things. You know, like with capturing the flags on Dark Side, really the only reasonable lightsaber users is the Grand Inquisitor and maybe Seventh Sister on more open map when it comes to more open maps. So not Seventh Sister, Second Sister. Seventh Sister's a skin, but you know, then I think they kind of need to make that a bit more reasonable. Make it so that it's like your team kills the VIP, your team captures the flag, rather than it just being you kill the VIP, you capture the flag, because it does get a bit. I mean, avenge allies. Well, maybe just like extend that time. Like sometimes it's they kill the opponents like 4 or 5 seconds after the time for the avenge allies up. It's like, if it just lasted a little bit longer, you know. But I think avenge allies are a little bit different, but is a bit of a different situation. But I think even then, just extending it to 10 seconds rather than 8 will probably help. But anyway, basically what I'm saying is that HTV needs to kind of just improve the credit rate, whether it's improve the credit rates you get by playing the game, you get way more by playing, or make the credits in the shop much more worth your while. Because as it stands, neither are really doing you much good. You kind of have to keep playing the game, which not everyone can do. Anyway, this kind of was a little bit of a ramble, an unscripted ramble. I know I was meant to end the video like at this point 6 minutes ago for you guys, and that I wasn't intending to do that. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and goodbye.